I had a request to make a video that talks about balancing growth with the requirements that are needed for your city and how to make that work out just a little bit better so that you're not always in need and having large percentages of your city unhappy or turning red or whatever. It reminded me of when I was level 9, and to the best of my knowledge, this was quite a while ago, but to the best of my knowledge, when you go from level 9 to 10, there is no indication, and again, this is a long time ago, so if I'm wrong on the level numbers, please bear with me, but there's no indication that from level 9 to 10 you suddenly need police stations and health clinics and fire stations. So when I turned level 10 and half my city became red and people were moving out and I had my happiness plummeting, I was literally traumatized and I almost quit the game. But in my opinion, I've discussed how growth is a negative thing in many, many ways. Leveling is negative. Depends on what you're playing for, of course. I like to play for the contest of mayors, but there are definitely negative side effects to leveling up your city and to growing your city. But regardless, it's pretty impossible not to level and not to grow. So let's discuss what exactly is needed and how we can try to balance what we need with our growth so that we don't have so many problems. Now on the bottom right, there's the little building here. I'm going to click on it and it brings up your services. The only thing that I can really say is that you have to be aware of your services and you have to be aware of your data layers for your waste management and your fire and your sewage and, well, not the sewage and waste management as far as data layers go, but the police and the health, I'm sorry. So let's look at this first. I'm going to click on power. And when you come down here and you look at this, when you look at the services screen and you pick whichever one you want, it gives you the capacity that you currently have. So I have power for 825, what would that be, residences? I'm not sure. 825 whatever. And my demand is 774. Now, I'm sorry, I don't have little better answers on what exactly these are quantifying, but I try to always make sure that I give myself a buffer zone. And only you, as the mayor of your city, determine when you place a residence or when you upgrade a residence. And the only way that you gain population, with the exception of using population boost buildings, is to either place a new residence or upgrade a current residence. So your capacity increases, and I looked at it last night. I did an Omega building, and when you first place a residence, doesn't matter what kind, on your screen, all it is an unstarted lot. It looks like, there's a wood outline and then it's just dirt. And until you actually do that first upgrade, it doesn't become a residence. But once you do that first initial upgrade, then it adds, at least for the Omega buildings, it adds 5 to the demand that you have for power and, let's scroll sideways here, water and sewage, yes, and waste management. All the way across the board, those 4, it adds 5 to the demand level. Now, I did not upgrade it again. I simply destroyed it. So I don't know what happens as far as the demand level. I've never actually looked and paid attention. All I really care about is having a buffer. But bear in mind that you can come down here to this services screen and make sure that if you're going to place a new residence, that you have at least 5 spare as far as whatever is needed in the demand category for the capacity. So you want to have at least 5 higher capacity than the demand if you're going to place a new home. And again, I'm not sure if it's 5 every time you upgrade or if it's less. I haven't looked, and for that I apologize. But then also you can scroll sideways, and when we come over here for the fire and the police and the health, you can look at your data layer coverage, and that's the green area. That's where everything is covered. And if you're going to place a residence, all you have to do is check your coverage area, your data layer, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that where you're going to put your house, your new residence, whichever kind of residence it is, it's covered in green. So move things around, change things up, build a new road, destroy a road, whatever you have to do to make sure that when you put that new residence down, it's going to be covered in green. And if it's not, if you don't have a place to put it, or if where you want to put it is not covered in green, then you know you have to buy either a new fire building or a new police building or a new health building, and make sure that it's covered. It's really that simple. Make sure that you have a buffer between the capacity needed and the demand, and make sure that you have coverage for each of the 3 services buildings: health, police, and fire. And then you'll never have unhappiness. You'll never have that bouncing up and down, people are angry, people are moving out, etc., etc., unless, of course, your roads need to be upgraded, and that's a whole different story. But as you increase in population, then you also have to build your roads as well, and that kind of springs up out of nowhere. And you wake up one morning and log in and find out that people have moved out because there's traffic jams. But bear in mind, try to save money, try to watch your coverage areas, and try to keep a buffer zone between capacity and demand. And as long as you do that, then you'll know when it's okay to grow and place a new building and upgrade current residences, because you don't actually have to. Nothing demands that you continue to grow and expand and increase. So, relatively short video. Hopefully this was requested, so hopefully this covers what you wanted to know, and it makes things a little bit simpler for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.